Hello and welcome everybody to Footy Classified. These are the scenes at Adelaide Airport. Live scenes at the moment as Emirates flight EK440 from Dubai has landed in Adelaide with Izak Rankine on board. There is a full media press conference about to happen at any moment now. So we're just waiting for Izak Rankine to walk in. As you can see, the podium has been set up. The officials are all briefing Izak Rankine behind the scenes, and we'll go to that as soon as possible. Welcome, everybody. Let's get stuck in this because we want to talk about Collingwood and the selections and everything, but we're going to break straight as soon as Izak Rankine turns up at this press conference. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Ed. Big night as always.
Always. Rory and Hurdy.
Great to be here.
It's good. It's live. It's exclusive, and it's all happening. And great to be part of it here on Footy Classified. So we'll get to Izak Rankine as soon as it happens. We've got him in our monitor over here. So as soon as he walks to the stage, we'll interrupt what we're going to talk about. In the meantime, let's get stuck into it. Tomorrow night's Thursday night, a huge game at the Adelaide Oval between your mob, the Crows, and my mob, the Mighty Pies.
Yeah, so the big selection news here is Bo McCreary was under an injury cloud and he's been cleared as fit to play by Craig McRae today. And Mason Cox, Eddie, was very much in the mix today, and you've got some news on his availability.
No, Mason Cox will play. Yeah. Mason Cox will be in and McStay will be out. So Mason Cox will make his comeback. Hurdy, you've seen him up close in recent times playing against your mob down at Port Melbourne in the reserves.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago he played a really good game against Port Melbourne. He was unbeatable in the air, and I think the way Collingwood should use him is deep in attack and actually just anchor him in attack so they can be a beacon, they can kick to. If he can take his marks, get his arms up and really stretch up, no one can beat him in the air, and if he can't mark the ball, bring it to ground. So it's pretty dependable that if he doesn't mark it, he brings it to ground. The little guys can get underneath him, because against Adelaide in 2 weeks ago, he wasn't able to, they just weren't able to kick the ball down the line. They weren't able to mark the ball in the forward line. It's really important that he plays, because the Adelaide Crows defenders won't be able to handle him, I don't think.
Well, and those were scenes from 2023 when he did. He challenged the defenders at that point in time who were scragging against him, gave away a few free kicks. He also created a bit of tension down there too, a bit of fire, Ed, which I think is going to be perfect for
Well, the other thing that's going to be interesting is that I know Collingwood have spoken to the umpires about one rule for Mason Cox and one for everyone else. Just because he's got long arms doesn't mean you can't chop him. No. And your guys went after his eyes and his glasses last time. Yeah, and we're going to get to it later on in the show about the code of conduct and the memo that's gone out. So everyone will be watching the umpires from the first bounce about the way they go after Mason Cox.
And it'd be both ways too, because Riley Philthorpe and Tex Walker gets tunnelled. Riley Philthorpe gets his arm chopped just as many times. So don't just make it about Collingwood.
The other reason that's important is Darcy Cameron will able to actually go back and play behind the ball and help out the defence. Without Jeremy Howard, they're going to need support and him to play behind the ball. Darcy Cameron plays between the ball and the goals and really makes sure that he'll shore up the Collingwood defence. So I think Mason Cox is a really important inclusion and important for Collingwood to win that game.
There's movement at the station in Adelaide, but let's roll the video of training today, because there was a couple of injury concerns at Collingwood.
Yeah, the good news is that Nick Dacos will play, but there was a couple of incidents, one with him and also one with Jordan De Goey, where they just pulled up a little bit lame. I'd be surprised if they're both 100% fit, but Hurdy and Sloane, this time of the year, very few players are.
Absolutely. As long as it's not a muscle strain, as long as it's only, a small ankle roll or something that's a bit sore in the joint, that's okay. But what you don't want this time of year, Rory, is any sort of muscle strain which keeps you up 2 or 3 weeks and costs you your finals.
No, you don't. And this is match sim, and they would have copped a couple of knocks. They'll recover, they'll rest up. You've still got 2 days before a game, and it's night game too, so you get plenty of time that day to rest and recover.
So Bobby Hill wasn't at training today. There's more family issues there. What's going on with Bobby Hill? There's a few starting to circle.
Yeah, so clubs are looking at Bobby Hill now, non-Victorian clubs, and I'm not talking about West Coast or Fremantle here either. And they're looking at Bobby Hill and they're wondering whether they can pry him out of Collingwood. Now, Collingwood, I think, would publicly say no chance. He's a Norm Smith medalist. He's recently re-signed, but it won't stop these clubs from trying at the end of the year, just because it's been an unstable year for the Magpies and Bobby Hill in general. There's been some frustrations towards him. Equally, he's been going through a bit as well. So I think these conversations will ramp up towards the end of the year. I believe Bobby wants to stay himself, but that won't stop clubs having a go. And also, his manager's been away for a while, so I'd expect Anthony McConville to get some calls when he comes back from overseas.
It's hard to believe that that's only less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, there's a bit happening since then.
I know there's a bit happening, but how quickly life can change. But he's a superstar player. I just hope he gets everything right.
Well, I hope he stays there and club gets around him and looks after him.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to Essendon, as I've got one eye on the screen, still waiting for Izak Rankine to appear at this press conference. Let's go. What's going on? Zach Merrett, I mean, every year, it's just another one of these ones that every year Zach Merrett's talked about leaving and then he stays?
That's it, Ed. So he's contracted for 2 more years. Zach Merrett isn't frustrated at the past. He's frustrated at the lack of success that might be coming in the future. So it's not like he's looking at the past going, I need to get out or anything like that. He just wants to be a successful club, and if Essendon's going to succeed, he'll be there. That's the key for him. He wants to win.
There's no way Essendon can let him go. I mean, no matter what happens, no matter what he asks for, no matter what he wants to go, he just can't leave Essendon. Essendon's ground should be, there's no way you're leaving, Zach.
Yeah.
So is it Essendon's... Did Essendon pitch to him again? Like, this is the future?
So last Friday, he met with Essendon and they talked to him about their future plans and whether that aligns with his views on how Essendon's going as well. They're also keen to re-sign him as well and extend him beyond 2027, potentially by at least another 2 years. So those conversations are ongoing. Izak Merrett is a name we're going to talk about for the next 3 or 4 weeks because of the situation that we're seeing as well.
Quickly go to Ridley because I'm seeing some flashes on the screen.
Well, Jordan Ridley wants out. He's going to keep trying, even though Essendon have shut it down, and he wants to go to Brisbane. That's where that sits at the moment, and that hasn't changed the last few days, Ed.
So, Brisbane. I mean, everyone's going to Brisbane.
Yeah, Oscar Allen as well. Sam Draper maybe too.
Have they got Geelong salary cap, have they?
No. Well, no, they've been very shrewd with their salary cap. Hurdy, what would you be saying?
The thing is with Jordan Ridley, I mean, if he wants to go, Jordan Ridley's been a very good player for the Essendon Football Club, and unfortunately had injuries, and he's a real statesman for the club, trains his backside off and a professional. But if you go to the club and say, I want to go, the club should then go, OK, if you want to go, we'll put you wherever is best for us. You can't just say, I want to go to one club, particularly when you've got a 4-year contract. So if I was Essendon, I'd be saying, Jordan, fine, if you want to go, but you're going where we want you to go.
Well, Essendon need leaders more than anyone. So Zach, you has to keep... Ridley, you've got to keep. Who else are their key leaders that they need to keep to build this team around?
Well, Sam Durham, they're trying to extend as well. Andrew McGuire, they need to keep. But you're right, they're devoid of real elite young talent. So they'll try to top up on Caddy, top up on Kako and get some more high draft picks in this year's draft and next year as well. They are in a full-scale rebuild. They need as many good players as they can have.
Tom, there's a chance they'll... I mean, look, we've got 5 and 6, I think. There's a chance they'll have 4 in the... Could they have 4 in the top 10 if things fall...
Yeah, they could.
Right,
they could get...
4 picks, sorry. Well,
free agency compensation for Sam Draper, who the Herald Sun's reporting is definitely going. We don't know whether he's going to the Crows or the Lions. So they'll have a good draft hand, potentially like the Tigers.
Brisbane, huh? It's like when you got sacked off Neighbours, you go up to Queensland.
Well, potentially, Eddie, they could have a situation like Richmond last year, who had... What did they have? 7 picks in the top 28. Now, it might not be that many, but that is a way to accelerate your rebuild.
But Richmond did it really well. They kept their core leaders through the midfield, down
But they
back.
lost Bolton, Rioli, Baker, Graham, and these were considered good, honest citizens. So you have to be prepared to lose some for the greater good down the track.
They've got Vlosten, Broad, Nankervis, Hopper, Taranto, Prestia. They've got these key leaders that they can build a team around and make these younger guys play better. And that's the blueprint, I think, that Essendon need to follow.
Hurdy, 25 years ago, you won the premiership on this very day. Let's put the pictures up here in Adelaide. We'll come back to that. Here's Izak Rankine at Adelaide Airport.
When you're ready, Izak, it's over to you.
I want to start by saying how deeply sorry I am. Just for what I said, there was no excuse. It was wrong, and I take full responsibility. I'm disappointed in myself, and I know I've let a lot of people down. I want to apologise to anyone that I've hurt, offended. I understand that word is offensive, it's harmful, it's hurtful, and it has no place in our game or our society. I am in no way a victim, but by going away, it's given me the space to reflect and educate myself to understand the weight of my mistake. And I'm fully committed to bettering myself in that area. In the next few days, I'll be standing in front of my teammates, the AFLW, and apologising to them personally, as they deserve this at the very least. From here, all I can do is put my head down, work hard, support my teammates in the best way I can, and show through my actions that I'm growing and learning from my mistake. More than anything, I want this club to succeed. So I'll be doing everything I can to gain everyone's trust back and have a positive impact on society and my supporters. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
OK, well, there's Izak Rankine, a highly emotional Izak Rankine. My first impressions is that he did a very good job there.
Yep.
He was sincere. He got the points across. Didn't take questions. He's probably not quite at that stage. He'll have to do that at some point in time. But I think that he did the right thing in getting out overseas. In those it's an intolerable situation. You understand it. I've been through a few situations like that. But for a young guy in Izak Rankine's situation, I think that shows genuine remorse and that he's stepping up to the plate, and I think that's as good as you could possibly hope for.
I think he understands the ramifications of his actions, of what he said, and he didn't try to qualify or justify what he said, and I think that takes... I think that's excellent what he's done. Obviously, he said he's not a victim, and he's not, but the way he presented that, I don't think he could have done that any better.
Tom, from a reporter's point of view?
You know, I think that was an unqualified apology that makes perfect sense for him to do. The difficult thing now will be facing his teammates, you know, his AFLW colleagues and his men's teammates as well. But you have to credit him for that moment where that was a sincere, legitimate apology, Rory. What are your thoughts?
And Rory, I want to get you from that. Before you give your thoughts on that, I want you to collectively take us inside Adelaide at the moment. Has it been the last 10 days or so?
Yeah, I suppose last week would have been... That last week was tough. For the footy club, absolutely dealing with this whole situation, and I'm sure it was tough with everyone involved.
2 weeks ago, we broke the story here that there was going to be 5 weeks, and I understand there was a bit of a mad rush to get to him to let him know.
Absolutely,
they just got in before he watched it on here.
Absolutely, the club would probably definitely, rightfully so, upset that it leaked through here before getting to them, and they wanted to make sure they could tell Izak first, to be there to help him and support him, make sure it was handled the right way too. So, so there was that part last week. And then you transfer to this week. It's been a buzz. It's been so exciting for the whole state, the whole footy club. They had an unbelievable session Monday night in front of a huge amount of fans that came out to support them. They are certainly feeling the energy and the love for this game coming up.
Tomorrow, the Adelaide Advertiser are going to have that photo. That's it tomorrow.
That's my question to you. Why would he come back today? Like that just seems... I mean, what he said just then, it was well done. But today or tomorrow or before the game, I just think that's disruptive to the team. Yeah,
and that's what we spoke about last week, didn't we? Like, this could have been avoided if things had been different last week. They're not, which is going to put the scrutiny back on the club and this situation. But take my hat off to Izak there. Again, like you guys said, I respect that apology massively. I think he said the right things too. He said he's going to talk to his teammates, talk to the AFLW team, which I love. He said he's going to be there to support his team. Make sure he supports the whole footy club in going forward, and he's going to help that club, which is all he can do now.
At the end of that press conference, are you happy with what you saw?
Absolutely, yeah. That was a sincere apology, but I love that it was about other people. He was there to talk to everyone else, talk to the teammates, talk to the people he hurt. He's not the victim, but he was going to be there to support his teammates and make sure that they're better going forward, which I think is a huge step forward.
Can I ask you a question? President of Collingwood, when would you have brought him back?
Look, it's a hard one because it's international flights as well.
But there's one a day.
Yeah, I know. Look, do you wait till Thursday and bring him in when it's all happening, or not? Look, I think people can chew and walk at the same time these days. Yeah, there's a bit of a hubbub tomorrow. He'll come to the club.
It'll be a bit of a distraction for the next couple of days, where it should be around the finals game on Thursday. But that's a situation that was...
When you run out, it's sanctuary out.
No, absolutely. But it's not about when you run the ground. It's training tomorrow, because there'll be a main session tomorrow.
Yep.
It'll be whether the supporters have a buzz. But when that ball's bounced on Thursday night, that'll be forgotten.
Yeah, but we knew from last week that this was going to happen too. So this was always going to happen over these couple of days.
The mistake was not to say something before he left. But he's already made the mistake.
We spoke about that, but now the best way forward is this.
Picked it up and gone. Does it give it an extra bit of twist that they're playing Collingwood?
Oh, absolutely. And that's, it's going to be a fiery game. I just hope the game is... it's going to be played in the right way, no questions asked. But I hope the fans are there to support their teammates, be loud and passionate, but they do that in the right way too. Because remember, there's going to be kids at this game that are out there looking at the people that they love the most on field. And I just hope we set the right example for the kids that are in the crowd. And
there's extra security going to be there. And I think the AFL will be pretty adamant that anyone on the supporter side of the fence who gets over chirpy, abusing players will be rissoled in very short order outside the door.
Do the right thing in the crowd. Please do the right thing, set the right example.
Would you be saying to Izak Rankine it's best you don't go to the game tomorrow night, watch it at home?
No, he should get in, he should be sitting in the rooms with his teammates. I think for Izak, I look at that and I see a guy who was emotionally wrought in the first place. He really copped his whacking. He went overseas to recalibrate. He's come out there, he's highly emotional. Enough. Enough. Yeah. Let him do the apologies, let him move on, let him get on with his life and rehabilitate himself and do the right thing. I'm confident from the little I've had to do with Izak Rankine, he has been a perfect gentleman and a great young man. He's made a mistake, but let's stop kicking
And
people.
the
to
best
death.
place for him is with his teammates. The great
Totally.
thing about a footy club is you
Footy
go
club's
back in.
unbelievable.
There's just teammates say, "I'm disappointed in you."
The
They'll
answer to
bring
your
him back
question
in.
Is that
is the
enough?
question that you asked in the first instance, and that is, get it out of the way, turn up.
Get to the game.
Is that enough to move on now for media?
No.
I'll get a day for tomorrow.
No. At some stage, he'll have to sit down and do a press conference or do an interview with someone, but that he's done all he can right now
So,
tonight.
Rory, quickly to answer your question. If they get beaten, the story is he's back in town for a final. If they get beaten the second week, he'll cop the blame for going out in straight sets.
Well, I hope that's not true because
No,
it's not just about one player.
Mate, I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay? So, this is what's going to happen. This is on a board already. They sit down and they have conferences in newsrooms.
Yeah, but
right?
people
I did it
getting
for
past
years.
that point now too, though. People don't just believe that anymore. No, well, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to educate
But if
people
they lose
on...
two, he will get the blame.
He will get the blame.
Well, he shouldn't because it's
If they lose
a
this
team
week,
game.
That's
if
what
they
happened.
lose this
Really?
week, it's Isaac's a chance for the grand final, and if they keep going through, then it'll all be excitement aplenty. He is the focus of the town and the AFL media until the Crows win it or they lose it.
Well, they've got to win it, but if they lose two, I completely disagree. It's a team sport and a team game, and I'd be disappointed if that was the narrative in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, well,
You're part of it.
Be prepared to be disappointed because that will be the story.
Not going to happen. They win.
Well, he'll get his chance to play in the grand final after the Pies fix him up. We'll take a break, come back right after this. One of the great stories of the year is this man, Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera. What a superstar. He joins us live in the studio to accept his prize for the Player of the Year as far as best game for Lexus of Blackburn.
Well, it's a great pleasure to announce the Lexus of Blackburn Performance of the Year, and who else can it be but St Kilda superstar Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera. 34 disposals and 4 goals against Melbourne to win the game in round 20. He's there. Joe Denise is the sales manager. He's alongside me. What does he win, Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Now's a great goal, mate. Congratulations. We're really proud to present the new Lexus LBX to you. Here's the keys.
Wow,
enjoy it.
Beautiful set of wheels there, Nasiah. What does it mean to you to win this award?
Yeah, it's obviously super grateful for it. It's thanks to the Lexus Blackburn team and Footy Classified, and it's great car, and can't wait.
Tell us about that performance. Have you ever played a game like it?
Nah, it was pretty surreal. Yeah, I don't know. It was sort of a blur, but it was one to remember.
And Joe, tell us about the car that he's won.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Again, it's the Lexus LBX, brand new model for us, and you'll love it. It's got heated seats and electric seats to keep you moving as well, so well done.
Perfect for the cold winter here in Melbourne. There you go, Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, the winner of the Lexus of Blackburn Performance of the Year for his 3-vote, 34 disposal, 4-goal game against the Demons.
Good on you, Tom, and our special guest tonight is that man, Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, and that was possibly the most valuable 1 minute of football in the history of the game, Naz. Congratulations, you've got the magnificent Lexus of Blackburn car and a beautiful $2 million contract as well. But can I just say this to you, on behalf of everyone in football, you might have saved the season in that minute as well, just the excitement and the pure joy that your announcement that you're staying at St Kilda meant to so many young people and St Kilda fans, but even people who don't barrack for St Kilda. It's just wonderful. Congratulations, mate. How are you feeling watching all that?
Thank you. It was obviously pretty special game, and it was pretty surreal to be able to win a car as well. Thanks to Lexus Blackburn and to you guys, and great.
It was my call, by the way.
I'm not sure about that.
I've still got my hands in the back of my neck are still standing up from
Hey,
that
Naz,
moment.
can I ask you just one specific... The second last step you're taking as you're going back for that mark, when you were in that moment of the unknown, you're either going to get splattered, you've got to keep your head up, you've got to judge the ball, you've run to the space. What is going through your mind at that second?
Yeah, well, obviously, we teed it up, the play at the centre bounce, and when I was in that moment, I was went backwards, and I didn't know if I was going to trip over or not, and I had no idea what was coming, and I was pretty surprised we pulled it off, and it was
Well, that was sublime, the first mark.
What are you saying here? Like, what were you saying? Kick it to me? Is that what it is, or what are the words of wisdom here you're giving to your teammates?
Obviously, the umpire called us. I think we ended up sprinting off before that, and then the umpire ended up calling us all back to get in starting positions, and then myself and Ro sort of teed it up, and then Windy came in towards the end and said, "Oh, Naz, give it to Naz." So I ended up telling,
Did you tell Windager, just get out of my way? Like, what are you doing coming back in here? Just make sure you get out of my space or put a block on for me?
No, I actually had no idea he was going to run that path because we planned that I was going to run it, and I had no idea he was there. But I told Hammer to hold, and I think Hammer was free as well.
So two blokes you've got to give a lift to. Rowan Marshall for the beautiful kick, centimetre perfect, as Dennis Comini would say, and Jack Viney.
Jack Viney, exactly.
Jack Viney.
Poor old Jack, he was thumping the ground afterwards.
Well, there's a couple in the centre bounce too that might want to...
Yeah. Do you practice that, Naz, at training, or is that the first time you've done that play?
No, that was the first time ever. We ended up trying it against Essendon a couple of weeks later, and I think McGuire. I was on McGuire at the time. He's like, "Oh no, I've seen this before."
Is that a set play from Ross, or did you guys come up with that as players?
No, we just came up with it as players, and we just sort of on the spot.
Can I get to the mentality of you as a player? Because you're watching the pressure you're under in the last 10 minutes of that game to do what you've done and produce what you've done, and then your mentality to go through the whole year and put up with all this speculation and play the football you've done speaks of someone who mentally is very, very tough and doesn't let a lot get to them. Is that like you've always been like that, or through your football career you've been able to do this?
Well, I guess the 3 hours that you're playing on game day is the best time of the week, and I have so much love for the game, and I don't think anything can really distract you when you're having fun and you're loving what you're doing.
When did it become apparent to you just how important this signing was for St Kilda people?
Well, it was obviously a bit of noise early on and all of that, but I think towards the back half of the year after the bye, I think fans started to see the signs in the crowds, and obviously had a lot of supporters come up.
And this might have been a bit of a giveaway as well with the coach after that night. We'll roll the vision of this situation here in the party. I mean, that's what footy's all about, isn't it?
Is that one of the greatest nights ever?
I wasn't too, but I actually didn't want to be on the shoulders. I think a few boys got me up there, and I don't know how he got me up there, but no, it was obviously a pre-planned event that we had on to celebrate the milestones we had the last few games before it, and I don't know how that video got out.
But to Eddie's point too, like, have you felt the love of fans afterwards? Because it's something you don't think about when going through a contract, and I know I didn't when I was going through it in 2018, but afterwards, like the amount of handshakes you get and the amount of thank yous, I'm sure that's something that you've received.
And a lot of memberships as well being sold because of Inaz.
Yeah, it's obviously pretty special. I wouldn't have, if you would have asked me at the start of the year, I probably wouldn't have imagined it and said it would be like this, but obviously the fans were pretty special this year.
Teams are successful build from somewhere, and it feels like there's a young group at St Kilda that's really building together. The love you have for your teammates, has that got more and more as the year goes on, or the younger guys? You've lived with a couple of guys this year. How tight is this younger group at St Kilda at the moment? Yeah,
it's pretty tight. The last 4 years, I think we've gone through the draft and invested in that heavily, and we've got a great young crew coming through, and we're all pretty tight, and pretty driven to achieve something special here.
And Eddie, it looks like they'll be getting some other players in as well. I think St Kilda's probably the favourite for Jack Silvani now. Remarkable.
So Jack Silvani, I can tell you, did a medical at St Kilda today. Yeah. So that's on. Yeah. TDK is done. There. He's done. Who else? Leika Lear.
They're after Sam Flanders as well, so they're having a crack at lots of players. I mean, that must give you great confidence that you can be successful as early as next year.
Yeah, obviously, we're trying to achieve something special, as is every club. But if we can get some guys in to help us fast track that, I think all for it. And we all trust the guys upstairs to do their job. And
Purdy and Rory, you can't underestimate the signing of Naz at St Kilda when we're watching everybody stampeding out of Carlton and Essendon at the moment. Suddenly, he stays and says, no, this is a good place to be. I could have gone anywhere. The money was on the table anywhere. I've actually chosen St Kilda. And as a result, other people go, this is a pretty exciting place to be.
And I think what it does, it shows that if you're standing still or just waiting like Carlton and Essendon have done, you're behind the 8 ball. It's what St Kilda have done, and get out in front of everyone and get aggressive. That's where the new landscape of the AFL. You cannot sit and just relax. And obviously the signing of Nasiah was the crucial part of it. But you have to just take your hat off to what St Kilda are doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's how a lot of play managers are seeing it around the league at the moment as well. It's all of a sudden become a more attractive destination.
So just with that, Andrew Bassett has copped a bit of flack along the way this year, but he has said, right, no, we're not going to get kicked around the Astros any longer. You've got Gubby Allen down there who has seen it all and done it all 1,000 times over. Steve Silvani's down there, and they're pretty...
And Ross as well.
And Ross Lane, they're laser focused.
It shows the importance of having a board or a president, a CEO, a list manager and a coach all on the same page.
And Carl Delina as well as the CEO.
Naz, do you see it as a responsibility that you're being paid such a huge amount of money? Or how does that figure sit with you? It's quite remarkable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a responsibility. Obviously in the process, stay process-minded and obviously, enjoy my holidays now and get back to work.
We're up in first class now, so there's some
good holidays.
Some great holidays, mate. Can I just applaud you on one thing too? And back at the start of the season, you had to come out and defend yourself against a rumour that was made around Tex Walker, but you reached out to Tex and called him. I know he was blown away by a young 22-year-old kid calling a 35-year-old man, and he is an old man and a grumpy one sometimes, but he was blown away that you took the time to ring him. I think that shows a tremendous amount of courage. But does that frustrate you that you have to come out and defend yourself in those situations?
Yeah, it was probably wasn't what I needed at the time, but I just wanted to clear the air before it got bigger and turned into a distraction, so I wanted to clear it before the weekend's game.
On your football, it looked like Ross was using you in places that needed to be done. It was half-back initially, then it was the midfield, but if he needed you forward, he put you forward. Do you feel like you've got the versatility to play all those different roles and the trust of your teammates? Because it just looks like whenever there's a problem during a game, particularly those last 5 games which you won, this is where he'd place you.
Obviously, the coaching staff, I've got a good connection with them, so obviously wherever the coaches need me, I'm happy to play that role. And Ross pretty much spoke. We've had some good chats along the way, and he said go out.
And how to deal with taggers? Just talk to Rory because he's whack him in the ribs.
Hey, Naz, going to the last round, you had 97 bounces of the ball, and easily the most of any player in the competition this year. You had 3 in the last round. Did you know you had to get 3 to reach the 100?
I actually did. Yeah.
Of course he did.
I think there was one time I bounced it before I even took a step. Make sure,
Smart man.
Good man, well done.
It's great to see, in all the pressures of football, somebody enjoying themselves. You deserve all the success this year, and as Rory just mentioned, you've given a fair bit back as well along the journey. And for a young man coming through the game, we couldn't be more delighted that you have been our Lexus of Blackburn Game of the Year, and we take into effect there not only the match-winning potential of it, but the excitement value, and that game personified everything we love about the game of Australian rules football. And then for you to sign on St Kilda, we think it was just magnificent. So, mate, we hope to see you up here many more times over the years. Look after yourself, look after your money and your future and your family and your friends, and enjoy a great career at the St Kilda Football Club.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Good on you.
25 minutes to make a 90th goal like you never made me.
Well, in one of the most anticipated games of the year, Rory, you see the Adelaide Crows host the Collingwood Football Club in the first qualifying final. It was a sensational game with controversy left, right and centre 2 weeks ago. Now the Adelaide Crows have to defend their home ground. It's going to be a fascinating game. 3 weeks ago, the Crows got absolutely smashed by the Pies statistically, particularly that first quarter. Collingwood 71 entries and still couldn't win the game. If the Crows allow that to happen again, I think it's going to be 9-9 for them.
I think it came off the back of a bit of structure. Adelaide Crows left the corridor way too open, and the Pies were able to just feed through it, in particular through Pendles, who was huge at holding that corridor position. And they just fed through. They wanted to hit up on the Adelaide Crows defenders, and they had great success doing it when it was dry.
Yep.
It's going to be a dry night. It's going to be great conditions for footy in front of a huge crowd. I'd imagine they'd come in with a similar game plan, Hurdy.
Absolutely, and Jordan Dawson. Jordan Dawson is the key for me, the Adelaide Crows. He was very good after quarter time and actually going to Pendlebury. But his opponents this year, he has had an All-Australian captain's season, even if he wasn't named All-Australian captain. But look at his opponents. He does jobs, he gets the ball. He's not always the highest possession winner on the ground, but for me, he's the most influential player in this final series, and I can't wait to see him take on Collingwood, specifically Scott Pendlebury on the weekend.
Well, this is exactly why he should have been an All-Australian captain, because in particular in 2 games where they got smashed in the first quarters, Will Day and Scott Pendlebury, I know he went at quarter time, went straight to Nixie and goes, mate, I've got this. We've got this as a midfield group. We're getting smashed. I'm going to play this role. I'm going to negate them. But then what he does so well is get off the chain and hit the scoreboard too, because he can push forward and play so many different roles. So when the Crows need him, he's the one that wants to stand up.
And it's not just a role. He takes that corridor role too. So that Pendlebury takes that corridor role for Collingwood. We'll see here around stoppage. You're going to see a lot of his stoppage work against very good players. He's a big body midfielder, isn't he, who wins the ball. But his selflessness to go to Pendlebury after quarter time but play that corridor role. What did he say to Nixie at quarter time?
No, he said, mate, I've got this. I've got this. We'll take control of this. And he owns it. He owns it as a captain and as a player. But it's not just him as well, because Collingwood's midfield is so deep. It's not about Pendles. They'll have Peatling that'll go to Nick Dacos. I reckon Josh Dacos might cop a bit of attention too from one of the forwards, because they know they're going to have to negate a couple of those players if they want to switch around and they want to start well, because they're going to have to set the tone early, the Crows.
And Jordan Dawson, to me, doesn't have an obvious weakness in his game. I mean, he's a great offensive player, great defensive player, uses the ball well, big body. So that's why I believe he's the key if they can shut down the Collingwood football team. With their long down the line play, with their skinny play, Collingwood in the first quarter against Adelaide last time they played them, really wanted to go through the corridor on attack. I think one of their real skills, Collingwood, is this skinny half-ground game, which means the opposition don't get the ball and aren't able to attack. It'll be interesting whether they go fast or they go slow like they did a lot of the year against the lesser teams.
Well, going quick through the corridor did work as well, but they are great in the contest, but so are the Adelaide Crows too. The Adelaide Crows can match them in the contest, and I think that's where, like we saw last time, it'll just be a battle of territory and who can win those key contests and who's going to spend more time in their forward half. It's going to be a really interesting battle because, as you said, they do have, and it'll be interesting I'll get your thoughts on selection soon, but yeah, these contests are going to be critical for who's going to win this game.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if Collingwood really keep the game tight and skinny for the first 3 quarters, and then after 3-quarter time, being that great last quarter team that has that confidence in them, go faster after that and try and break open the Adelaide Crows there.
Which way do you reckon will expose the Adelaide Crows' inexperience in finals?
I think you need to keep it close. I think with the crowd, yes, you can go all out, you can try and attack like they did in the first quarter, but it comes with risk. Because if the Adelaide Crows get the ball in hand and they get in their forward line, I don't think Collingwood can compete. If Adelaide have 55 entries, I don't think Collingwood competes, so I'd keep the game skinny.
Yeah, and Adelaide Crows have got to be brave early on if they want to settle those nerves. Now, the Friday night game, Brisbane versus Geelong. What do you see happening here?
Well, both teams love to free up their backline. Harris Andrews and Dane Zorko love to be free across half-back, but Geelong also love to have Tom Stewart or the interceptors come back. So, yes, Brisbane Lions are a fantastic team around the ball. Their midfield's great. They love a forward half game. But I think the Lions will get suited if Geelong try and roll one back and let Harris Andrews or Zorko off the ground. Both sides, you can see, love scoring from intercepts, and both sides love to free up. We see Tom Stewart in a few of these edits. If you leave Tom Stewart free, you are in trouble. Definitely.
Absolutely, and this is why the Geelong Cats bring their half forwards up. They do want to get their wings shifting back so they can get out numbers. It's not just Stewart all the time. They'll have others rolling off, but they want to help support. But I see a massive role for Shannon Neal here on Harris Andrews to make sure he negates his impact.
This one here he doesn't keep him.
I don't care if he marks the ball, and I know James Rowley won't either. He'll just want to see that ball come to ground, because Geelong are one of the best ground ball inside forward 50 teams. They're also one of the best pressure teams inside their forward 50, and the way they need that to happen is if they can create a contest and knock it out marks. So a huge role for Neal this weekend.
Not only will this be a great game with the terrific players both sides have, and it'll be fierce around the contest, who can win the centre clearances, who can win the clearance around the ground, but I think it'll be a chess match between two coaches who know each other very well. The Brisbane Lions have had the advantage and they've been able to use that spare and work better. But Eddie, for us here, I think it's going to be an Adelaide win, and I think it's going to be a Brisbane Lions win. What about you, Rory?
Oh, I'm just going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Geelong win, but I can't go against the Crows. But one of us is going to be, I'll go Collingwood, and then we'll see what happens.
But you're not telling the truth.
No, I'm not telling the truth. Adelaide win.
Look how upset he is.
That's right. You'll be like Izak Rankine. You'll be barracking for Collingwood, won't you?
Oh, yeah. That's true. He might be barracking for Collingwood.
He might indeed. Good on you, boys. That was fantastic to go through all that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the memo has gone out to the clubs from the AFL about what the umpires are going to be looking for and the extended role of the ARC. We'll discuss that next on Footy Classified. Welcome back to Footy Classified. We told you 2 weeks ago that the ARC would be extended for the finals, and Tom Morris has the memo that has gone to the clubs. You've actually got the memo, mate, so let's find out what the clubs have been told.
I do. This is it. This was sent from the AFL to the clubs in the last few days. So this only refers to decisions from the ARC relating to goals or points, on the full. The ARC will only correct a boundary umpire decision before the ball enters play. Importantly, and this is the most important bit, the ARC will not delay the restart of play for the boundary umpire reviews.
Yeah, but I can tell you, no one's worried about whether they have to restart or not. They want to get it right.
Yeah.
OK? And the umpires were told about it today. My understanding is that they have accepted it and they're actually embracing it, meaning that they've actually got a backup, that not under all the pressure all the time, that there is a backup there. They're not going to be made look stupid by the ARC. It'll be there to actually help them.
So their view is that when the ball goes out, there's normally 15 seconds before the ball gets thrown in, and in that time, the ARC can work quick enough to get in the umpire's ear.
I haven't seen a throw in 15 seconds for about 10 years.
So this was given on the full, and it was clearly a bump ball at the time, Sydney versus Carlton earlier in the season. This would now be a boundary throw in, not on the full. So that's one example from earlier in the year. And this was sent to the clubs as well as one of the examples in the link in the memo. So that would be...
It's a perfect example, that one. And, of course, the other one, of course, it was the Adelaide Collingwood game 2 weeks ago with side bottom with a free kick where there was just a guess. So that's great. That's Greg Swan saying, right, let's use everything we've got to get the best possible result.
That's right. And they can just get that vision straight away at the ARC. The next example, as we can just move along a bit to the other examples that were given, was this one, West Coast versus Freo. Now, they appealed for out on the full. The umpire didn't know really what was going on, and then the free kick was given. This would be overturned nowadays as well. OK, what other stuff is there that's come out here? Tell me about dissent. We've seen that. Let's get rid of that vision. That's done, right? We've got the boundary umpires done. Yep. Now, let's go to dissent. So now, we've seen this has crept back in with people are pointing at the scoreboard. They're doing the Macarena on the mark. What's happened? Have they come back and said, you're in trouble if you dissent to the umpires? That's right. They said if you point at the scoreboard, it will be a free kick against you, a 50-metre penalty. There's been 18 this year. There was 15 last year. They've reminded clubs to let their players know that you cannot point at the scoreboard.
Right. Players need to be watching this show because a lot of players don't watch shows. They need to be across this because if you're frustrated, there's no pointing. It is arms down. Just stiffen up. Bite your tongue if you have to. Bite your lip, Hurdy. But you cannot put anything...
But so do the AFL and the umpires because don't give it on the Thursday and not give it on the Friday, not give it on the Saturday. You want to make sure that all these things that the players is consistent and it happens all the way through.
And with a little bit of nuance. Let's not be, you know, if somebody just twitches that we go mad about this, OK? Just have the nuance. But if you're demonstrative, then it's a free kick.
And you haven't showed restraint as well. That's what was included in the memo.
But the nuance has to be the same across the whole four games.
Is a point 50 metres or is it a point and...
No, point is 50 metres. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Anything else in that memo that we should be aware of?
No, it's all just status quo for holding the ball, the 6-6-6, the stand rule. Those are the main 2 points around the ARC, which you brought us a couple of weeks ago, and also the other point there that we just had.
So expect more consistency around it.
Well, you'd hope so, but who knows? Yeah.
OK, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Essendon fans, stay with us because there's a bit of joy coming your way right after the break.
So the scene is set. Capacity House.
James Hurd, welcome to the MCG. This is the game that we've been waiting for.
The moment has arrived.
Barnes contests. Hurd snaps. James Hurd bends it back for the Bombers. Is it enough? He has. Essendon unable to break the demon shackles at the moment. Into Hurd. He's kicking from 50 metres. Lovely looking kick. Hurd has done it again. With him also was Alessio. Hurd's running the boundary line. He just kept it in play. Lloyd back to Carousella. Clever! James Hurd. He's a genius, isn't he?
So Phoebe comes wide for Nicholson. Hurd, brilliant.
Well, everything James Hurd at the moment is turning to goal. He has the Midas touch.
And they have won their 16th premiership. And is there a better story than James Hurd?
The winner of the Norm Smith medal is James Hurd of Essendon.
What a wonderful day it was 25 years ago today. And why was it 25 years ago? Because it was the year of the Olympic Games. The season started a month early, so it's not unprecedented for the AFL to move the season around. Hurdy, Norm Smith medalist, best on ground, captain, an amazing win for the all-conquering Bombers that year. When you look at that now, what do you feel?
Oh, it was just an incredible moment. I mean, it was a dream come true. It was what I'd always wanted to do as a footballer. Was captain the Essendon Football Club to a grand final, a premiership, and I did it. And you know, the memory that'll be with me forever is just hugging Tanya, and we just had a baby Stephanie. They were on the other side of the fence, and just sort of relief that went through me at the end of the game. And when you do something like that with 21 other teammates, it's just so special. And unfortunately for a club, it's been a long time. It hasn't happened since, but it was a culmination of a lot of hard work for a lot of people.
And for the players who are playing now, there's obviously Collingwood and Brisbane have won premierships in recent times, but players going into the first final series, do they actually... I know we always hear the cliche of a young bloke, oh, I wish I had known at the time. Do they realise, do you think, just how important this is, a seminal moment that sticks with you for the rest of your life?
No, I don't think you do. I think if you did, you'd probably put too much pressure on yourself. But the hardship and the hard work that goes into that day and getting there is not just about one season, one game. It's a career. It's a career since you're 5, 6 years old. It's your parents driving you around. It's your friends. It's your mates. It's so many sacrifices to get to that moment. And I'm so envious or so excited for the 8 teams now and the opportunity that's ahead of those players for this final series, because it really is a whole new season.
Have you watched it back much?
Oh, every second day.
He put together the highlights. He just put together the highlights package, clearly.
Were there any other Essendon players playing that day?
No, none by the look of it. Forget Lordo.
I don't know about Lord. He didn't get kick 6.
Because I got close to winning one, but is it more about the friends and memories that created around that, and that's what you look back on?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't go back and watch the game, but when you have reunions, when you have, we'll have a 25-year reunion, I think, which I'm organising, which I've got to get to organising in November. But it is something that it's about the friendships and the mateships and the memories you have from the club and the people around you. And it is about the game and watching that game. But the best thing about football is the mateships and the friendships you build by being successful.
All right, we'll leave the Bombers there. We wanted to give them a little bit of joy.
It's been September. It's been tough.
It has been a tough time. We'll look at the Bombers over the next couple of weeks in greater detail. AFL Victoria now.
Yes.
All right, Tom, you've got
been a bugbear of yours for a while, Ed.
You go on with it, because it's a story that not only has been a bugbear for me, but everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Anyone who loves the game is saying, OK, what is going on with the development of players? Because to me, that is the key thing in football. Yeah, the 60 to 65% of players that are drafted every year are from Victoria. I know it's a national game, but it's an important part of the game here in Melbourne and wider Melbourne areas. So there is widespread frustration tonight from people in the under-18 elite pathway system towards the AFL. In fact, it was 12 and a half months ago, Jeff Walsh was commissioned to do a report into recommendations to essentially fix the game at the elite pathway system here. And these were his recommendations. You can read them yourselves. There was 8 of them. It covered fixturing and more money for coaches and professional development opportunities. When you say fixturing, you mean under-18s and school football. So
girls,
they haven't
boys, the whole
everything there. So you don't have... Some kids were playing 30 games.
Yeah, too
many games. That's where the father-son helps so much, because if you know that, I mean, Darcy Moore, I think, played about 8 games in his last season, came in fresh. The Dacos boys did the same type of thing.
Well, the school football, private school football particularly, and the coach league don't seem to have the relationship they need to have.
That's right, and that was one of the recommendations there. So those recommendations, the feeling is from these clubs and these people in the system, has been put in a drawer somewhere at the AFL and hasn't been touched. So
who did he give that report
to the football department at the time, which was headed by Laura Kane, and then she's handled it in the last couple of months when her role changed to Rob Old, who's now taken over talent identification. They are aware, the AFL, that these recommendations haven't been actioned, but that hasn't diminished the frustration for the people that feel like they're being neglected in these systems.
But how does that happen? And what a waste of money to go and do a report, go and find out what the issues are. Because the legitimate issues, not just at that level, also the next VFL level, legitimate issues in Victorian talent pathways, that something can't be done after Jeff Walsh has done it. How does that happen?
Well, and... Sorry, go.
Yeah, we don't know how it happens, but it's caused immense frustration. Yeah.
One of the key ones there, for not paying coaches enough, that is one of the most important pathways to the AFL. Having the best coaches in that pathway is a must. They must fix that.
Can I ask you a question about... So let's say if Collingwood, let's say if it went back to the clubs to look after the pathways, how much money would Collingwood put into developing kids, developing the kids in their zone, even if they only got to keep one of them or none of them? Would they put money into it?
Well, one of the frustrations I had when I was president was that I saw a lot of really good people who are underutilised. That's assistant coaches. Now, they're flat out, but there's 12 months in a year. There was an enormous opportunity to be able to bring people through. We're finding now that there's no pathway for administrators, there's no pathways for coaches. We've got to get that right. I mean, that's the production line. And so it wouldn't just be the clubs having to put the money. The AFL's got the money. You and I have done this at school level with our boys, where it's... you know, the defensiveness of people, not only at the schools, but at the under-18s and the power broking. And I've said this for 15 years at AFL presidents' meetings, so I'm not coming up with, you know, a new idea here. I have a real fear, and I still have a real fear, that our game is becoming a private school game. Okay, we're not getting the kids. We're getting. We need to be out. I mean, my old neck of the woods in the northern suburbs. Not only does my old club not exist.
No, I agree.
The competition doesn't exist, and it is the fastest growing corridor in the country. Now, for all those people who don't want immigration and they're marching in the streets, that's your political point of view. My point of view is, if they're here, let's get them playing football.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've got to go and get them and take them out of a culture that has never heard of this and promote it.
Yeah. So these recommendations aren't easy to fix. They acknowledge that, they're people that are involved. But the fact is, nothing has been done yet. And I think Rob Old will end up you know, putting his best foot forward to make sure that they can fix some of this, but it's not going to be done overnight. And it's only recently that it's been put forward to the AFL that actually you need to do something about this, because it can't be Jeff Walsh is a senior person.
But can I say this? It can be done overnight.
Yeah. Well, some of those can't be done overnight.
Yes, it can be. Well, you put the things in place. You put a budget in place. You put somebody in charge. If it means somebody has to go down with a shovel and turn the first sod and build a pavilion and go and see the council, that's the first thing.
Yep.
Right? We don't expect the building to be up overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight.
But get going.
Get going. I mean, this is vital. I'm a bit worried about footy at the moment in these situations.
Well, hopefully this kicks into gear a little bit.
We've been going around with all these different things. The women's football is massive, right? So we have to double the facilities, double the people involved, double the doctors, double the physios, not let it die off.
Yeah.
We've got to get this right.
Yeah, let's do it. Hopefully this kicks it into gear a bit. And Jeff Walsh's recommendations actually mean something.
There's enough people there to do it, so I would be allocating names, right? Thanks. Maybe Walsh is still there, right? Walsh, you did the report. Implement it.
Yeah.
Right? Swanee, you're too busy doing that. Laura, you've got different roles now. Somebody is in charge of that, and I want to see the result in a month, update, and it goes to the commission.
I like it.
That's how you make things happen in football. Don't dick around and talk to each other and go around in circles. There's too much of that stuff. Cut to the core. We've seen what happened. Swanee's been in there for 5 seconds. Suddenly we've got the arc going. The umpires are involved. Everyone knows what's going on this weekend. You know, it's not rocket surgery.